Okay, this is a leather hard stained piece that's ready to be carved. I moved it from the electric wheel over to the Lockerbie kick wheel. I like to manipulate it, move it around a little bit easier like that when I'm carving, just with my feet back and forth. And I'm using a small paintbrush with a music wire in it to relief carve the stained surface area. This is a cone 6 clay. It's leather hard, and it's in the process now of being relief carved. So I've got these patterns set up. There's a few guidelines, just a few, just to break it up into sections. And I'll repeat these patterns over and over 8 times as I go around. I can break them up into 6 sections or 4 or 2 or even just one massive pattern. But in this case here, there are 8 sections or 8 patterns, repetitive patterns. So here I've got the pattern in mind, and I'm starting to do it feature by feature, working my way around all 8 sections at one time, just doing one feature at a time instead of one section at a time. So I'll go around putting these little loops on there, or little points. This is an abstract design. Looks a little bit like plants, but it's a little bit abstract. It's the clay is a cone 5 clay. It'll be fired in an electric kiln, and it'll turn into a medium brown, and the dark area will turn into a soft satin black, though the final piece will have a semi-transparent glaze on it. This piece will be carved, as you can see right there, relief carved, and when it's air dry, it'll be bisque fired. Then it'll have a semi-transparent glaze applied to it, and it'll be fired to cone 5. When I pull it out, I'll be able to see the black pattern with a little bit of a slight transparent haze or glaze over the top of it. So here you can see the pattern now. It's repeated all the way around. I'm adding a few more features onto the pattern. Looks a little like a bird there upside down, but each person can decide what they think it looks like. So I have several different music loop tools I use for different sizes of cutaways. Some of them have square or oval ends on them. This one here is a little bit of a sharp curve at the end. It's not a full circle, kind of like an elliptical loop at the end. Here I'm just dusting it off to get a few of the small pieces off, so scratching the same stain surface. And I'm adding a few more little features all the way around. Here I'm adding another feature, a little larger than the others, and it'll go all the way around too. I'll add a couple of lines at a time. You can see it on the right side when it's right side up. It's been flipped over after it was completed, and it's still leather hard, but it's carved when it's upside down. The base of the pot was cleaned up and given a little step on my Pacifica electric wheel, which is the same wheel it was thrown on. I buy the clay from New Mexico Clay in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So here I'm about to finish up the main relief carving part of this. Then there'll be a little relief cut that goes all the way around, and you'll see a larger amount of the clay to offset the top of the pattern surfaces at edges. So I'm just checking a few things here, just adding a few little features. Makes it a little more look like a plant. Very abstract plant, but it looks a little more like that. And again, this clay is fairly hard, leather hard. It's not too soft. There's a happy medium between being too soft and too hard. So here I'm just starting to do that relief cut at the top of the pattern, which, like I say, this piece is upside down, so it will be at the top of the bowl, as you can see on the right. I like the natural, I like to leave little lines in there to give it a little bit of a texture, a little bit like a rough wood carved piece in some ways. And again, the Lockerbie works so well for this. You can see the pattern on the right as it's being rotated slowly. You can see parts of it there. Like I say, it's a repetitive pattern, goes all the way around. So anyway, it looks like I'm about done with this piece here. I'm just going to take off the little tabs of clay there that are holding it in place. It's roughly centered as it's carved. It's not like it was actually thrown, but it's pretty close. That bat has lines on it there, breaks it up into sections. This piece, when it's done, will be flipped over. It'll be cleaned up a little bit, dusted down a little bit, and maybe a few little dull edges will be sharpened to a cleaner point, like a couple of lines come together. Make sure it has a nice finish point on it. And I'll just take a quick look at it a few times, and then it'll probably just sit on the shelf till it's air dried for a few days, and then it'll be fired in my Scott kiln to cone 5 for the final firing with the semi-transparent glaze. So again, it's just a decorative piece. It's mainly just a little different, and I enjoy making these parts. Always enjoyed carving part. That's my favorite part of the making of the piece, is the actual carving of the piece.